Hey, She Slayers, and welcome to another episode of She Slays the Day podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Lauren Brunslick, and today I have on cosmetic dentist turned multi-passionate entrepreneur, Dr. Jessica Emery. We have an incredible conversation, of course, about the similarities that whether you're a dentist, a vet, or a chiropractor, just selling a cash service often to a patient who maybe doesn't love prevention, not the easiest thing in the world. We talk about leadership, heart led movement showing up in your clinic. And she talks about her journey of, getting out of the clinic and really starting to help other dentists. There's a ton of leadership advice in here, as well as an amazing conversation on abundance and manifestation. I have not heard someone so on fire for manifesting your true life that brings you true happiness since I interviewed Dr. Stephanie Wigner on the podcast a couple years ago. Was that a couple years ago? So as if you've been listening lately, you know that this is a relevant topic because, I'm not renaming the podcast to the Triple B podcast. But I do love talking about all the issues pertaining to becoming broke, bored, or burnt out, because I think if we can solve those three things for healthcare providers, we can keep a lot of people in healthcare and not seeking easier money elsewhere, which is happening. It's happening. So buckle up. This is a great episode. You're going to enjoy it. Now, it's been a minute since I've given you a little background story or update, and I just have a quick little one for you today. I promise it's quick. So I spent the morning working on a brand new freebie for people. It's this 9-page PDF auditing your whole Instagram to get you to be more follow worthy. Okay. And so I spent between chat and Canva and my brain about 3 hours working from home this morning, working on this. Now, I had to take a break. It's so good. It's so good. I'm like, okay, I have to take a break. I'm out in the kitchen. I'm boiling eggs, and I have 3 contractors residing our house right now. And it's just hilarious as a woman. It's hilarious. It's so funny. You just have to laugh about it. How quickly our brains will backslide into where our worth is. Or, even if this isn't how we were raised, how our mothers didn't raise us, we're just not that far removed from a woman's place in the kitchen. And that's where her worth is raising the family. So I'm waiting for eggs to boil, taking my break. And I have this random thought of oh, they know I'm working from home. They can see my car. Man, I should really bring them lemonade or something. Why would I bring them lemonade? Yes, granted, nice thing to do. I'm not domestic. I don't bring my husband lemonade. I don't bring my children lemonade. In fact, when my children talk about having a lemonade stand, I talk them out of it because the cash flow on those things are horrendous. And so I just kind of laughed at myself being why? I just created this really amazing product that is going to help so many people, and I'm going to give it to them for free. And my brain has just been in focus mode. But because they knew I was working from home, I felt like that I needed to fill in the blanks for them of but here you go. Thanks for fixing my house. A man wouldn't think that. Now, if I'm wrong, please DM me. If you're a dude and you're at home, and maybe even if it's not lemonade, let's say you work from home and contractors are working on the outside of your house, would you feel like you need to bring them a Coke? No, probably not. But again, if I'm wrong, I'm open to learning. Okay, so let's talk about our guest. So Dr. Jessica Emery, like I said, she's a cosmetic dentist turned multi-passionate entrepreneur. You can see already why I like her. I identify as multi-passionate. She's a speaker, business mentor who helps women build businesses and lives they're truly obsessed with. After selling her fee-for-service cosmetic dental practice, Jessica dove headfirst into the online space, combining her love for branding, marketing, mindset, and manifestation to launch Happy CEO, a heart-led movement designed to support women in business as they rise into their next level. Now based in Charleston, she leads everything from high-impact masterclasses, photo shoot weekends, and retreats to in-person masterminds, helping women unlock their purpose, follow their fire, and build their dream, even when it feels scary. She's the founder of Dental Soiree, host of multiple podcasts, and the living embodiment of what happens when you trust your intuition, take the leap, and build your own magic carpet ride from the ground up. She's a delight. And I promise for my boys listening, it's not really a female centric conversation at all. So don't skip it just because she's a coach for females. I'm finding a lot of that lately. And am I just removed? Like, are there a lot of male coaches who only coach men? Like, I feel like in the online world and coaching space, I'm finding so many females that really just coach women, which cool. That's their niche. You know me. I like talking about a good niche, but I don't know. Like, does it go the other way? But I just don't talk to them. I would love to talk to a guy who just coaches guys. Like, if you know someone, invite them on the podcast because I think that both men and women, entrepreneurs and healthcare providers, are burning out from very similar reasons. I think they deal with a lot of the same financial embarrassment or shame that we feel like we should just know this stuff. If we're really smart, a lot of healthcare providers, we're expected to have answers for people. And once we get out of school, all of a sudden it's like, nope, you're supposed to know everything. And so even though we didn't learn financial stuff in school, we're like, nope, you should know that. Otherwise, you're an idiot. So I don't know. Welcome on. Send them my name. So before we do that, you know what we're going to do? I had a message from a friend who hasn't listened to the podcast in a long time. And he's down in Texas. And he said, hey, I listened to your episode with Callan Faulkner. And that's so cool that you're still praying before episodes. So I don't know if like people thought that was a kitschy thing that I was doing. Because believe me, leading your podcast with a prayer, especially when you suck at praying like I do, not a great way to get listeners. So let's take a breath. Dear God, thank you so much for this journey that we are on and that healthcare providers continue to take the leap of faith that it's all going to work out. They go through so much intense schooling and without the promise of financial reward, without the promise of work-life balance. And they are purely led with a servant's heart. So God, for any of our healthcare providers listening today, please remind them that that servant's heart is exactly what you call from them and you ask them to just trust you and that you've got opportunities that are coming in their career that they could never have even dreamed about. In your name we pray. Amen. Okay, without further ado, here is my conversation with Dr. Jessica Emery. Enjoy.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Happy CEO podcast. I'm so excited today to have Dr. Lauryn Brunslick with me. We are going to have the freaking best conversation ever. Welcome, Lauryn.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So let me dive in with a little intro. We are just getting to know each other online now. And there's just like we've been living kind of like parallel lives a little. Like there's so much we have in common. So we just decided we were having this full-blown conversation before we hit record, and we're like, let's just go in and freaking rip and like have a conversation here. So let's do it. But before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Lauryn. She is an entrepreneur, a chiropractor, business coach, podcast host, wife, mother, and sought after speaker, known for her high energy, straightforward attitude, and ability to make people laugh while discovering their truths. Love it. In 2010, she founded Blue Hills Chiropractic, building it into a 7-figure thriving practice. But after years of relentless hustle, she found herself overworked, tied to her practice, and craving more freedom. Determined to create a business that worked for her, not the other way around, Lauryn built multiple streams of income, streamlined her operations, and reclaimed her time without sacrificing herself, really, right? And your income. She took that passion and launched She Slays the Day, a podcast helping professionals and clinic owners break free from burnout by creating multiple revenue streams, reclaiming time, and building financial and lifestyle freedom. Let's get into it.
Yes, it is. I was holding my breath during that entire bio. And if you were like anybody watching me, I don't know if this is on YouTube or not, I was like, like literally shaking my head like, "Okay, yep, that's true." Because in this day and age, I have 2 VAs from the Philippines and ChatGPT, and I was like, I haven't heard what bio, like,
Ah!
what bio got sent to her?" And I'm like, "Okay, yep, that's good. Oh, yep, that's
Oh,
true. Okay, good. All right."
it resonated with me. I'm like, this all
I
makes
was like, "Okay, good. That's a good
sense.
bio. We're fine. All of that
Yes.
checks out."
Right? And so we were just speaking too before we popped on. I was saying how you had mentioned that you had started your podcast. I don't know when, but in a closet. And I was like,
Yeah,
I started mine in a
2019.
closet too.
Yeah, yep,
Okay.
2019. I had been coaching for, like, a big chiropractic business scaling company and things, and I don't know, it was just, like, one of those things where I was like, "I gotta do something different," and so because I was spending so much time on other people's clinics and not my clinic, and so I stopped, and, like, within a month, I was like, "I am going insane. I need to give people advice on like I just love giving advice. Like I think during that month I had like given a weenie wagon like advice. I was like, "Have you thought about having pickup like on that back window?" Like I was
You
like,
got
"Okay,
to.
this has gone too far. You just need."
Yes.
And so I just started a podcast and like with my ADHD for ideas and then my husband's like ability to execute in tech, it was like all of a sudden I couldn't think about it too much. It was like, "Oh, I we're starting it. This is happening. Cool, cool."
Freaking love. Do you know your human design?
Okay, I'm so glad you asked that.
Okay.
It's manifesting generator, if you couldn't tell.
Of course. 1000%.
But the only reason I know that is because I literally just interviewed someone 3 days ago on it, because I'm an Enneagram girl.
Okay. All right.
You don't know Enneagram?
Because you haven't done human design yet. I swear you
It's so
will.
complicated.
But
It's
you'll get sucked in if you know
yeah.
your
What are
profile
you?
lines. I'm a 5-1 Manny Jen, and I've got
That's
the
exactly what
vibe.
I am.
I knew it. See, I knew it. I feel so
That's exactly what I am. Literally, don't ask me anything else except my crown is open. And I was like, "Oh, that
same,
sounds good." And then she
same.
described it, and I'm like, "That doesn't sound good. That actually doesn't sound good."
I think like it's the same kind of energy, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, having to do all the things, leaping, and then the net appears, just like moving, grooving, having to have our
Yeah.
hands in everything all the time. I
So
just
many
literally
things.
launched my fifth website. Fifth, like multi passionate all the way,
Yeah.
freaking
Yep. Yep. That
obsessed.
fits.
So, you mentioned that you were coaching before the podcast, you were
Mhm.
coaching. How did people like, cause so for me, I know that when people approached me to like mentor and coach,
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? Because I didn't have like a coaching degree for that, like in the ego kind of
Oh.
mental
Oh, no.
space. No, back
Oh,
then.
I was like, "It's
Yes,
about
please.
time you asked. It is about time you saw the re." Yeah, no, I mean, we were I think this is the evolution of every not every healthcare provider, but, like, if you are highly trainable,
Yes.
then you do well. Like,
Yep.
that's just if you get it, if you can see other people
You're
who
open. Yeah.
are doing well,
Mm-hmm.
and you can pick and choose, like, what's gonna work authentically for you, you get to a point where you've created this clinic that is pretty awesome,
Mm-hmm.
and people start to see that and go, "Well, how did you do that?" And so
Yes.
I think that's a really common thing for people. Now, not every healthcare provider can really take that and start to like build and scale something from that. Like a
Mhm.
lot are just kind of like, "Oh, I'll just like," they feel insecure of like, I mean, I didn't reinvent anything, like, and they kind of just insist on keeping themselves small and like mentoring for free and all of this.
Yeah,
And I'm like, how much
right.
money do you make in your clinic? Why are you mentoring for free? Like, if you're worth
Yes,
something, like your advice will make
because
them an
you're a
extra
quote
hundred
unquote
thousand.
colleague. You're my colleague,
Yeah.
right? Can I pick your brain? How many
Right.
times do I
Oh
get
yeah.
that? Oh my
Yeah,
god.
and in the beginning, and I think that those pick your brain is a fantastic place to get the confidence if you are someone who's like, "Well, I don't know how to coach," then,
Mhm,
like, let it stick in the, like, "Can I pick your brain?"
mhm,
place, but, like
mhm.
but then you start to have too many people asking to pick your brain, so
Oh yeah, it's and it's time and it's energy, right? I mean, it's
Mhm.
definitely interesting when I same kind of story like yours. When I started my practice, I was a fee for service model, had a really strong brand because I wasn't on insurances for people to find me.
Right. And
And
so you
that is
have to
why,
sell. Yes.
right. So dentists were asking, like, wait, how are you doing that? And I'd look at their websites and they would be like stock images, like freaking
Mhm.
teeth with logos in it and no pictures of them and just
Yeah.
awful. Broken
Chiropractors are
links.
similar. We're like obsessed with putting spines everywhere. And it's like, I don't think you understand that there's a lot of the population that finds that gross. Like,
Yes.
not everyone loves, like, oh, you put a spine in your logo. Wow.
Spines and teeth with like roots.
Ooh,
Like,
yeah.
with an instrument with a point on it, like, through the tooth. It makes
Yeah.
no sense, but so they were coming to me, and that's how I started, my company, like, the digital media to help people with the brands and the like, photography and things
Okay.
like that, which I loved. That was before then I stepped into actually helping them in their practices, but it still has been extremely difficult because of the fear. We can talk about fear. They're in such fear because of the insurance companies have such a grasp on keeping them small. And I'm like, we're moving to a new paradigm. Like,
I
stop.
mean, it really is. It really is such a similar thing. I think, we were talking a little bit before we started recording where you feel like chiropractors actually, air quote, like get it a little more.
Yes.
And I think it comes from a place of just being a lot more ostracized. And so from the beginning, like from the get go, it's not just us needing to convince people that this is something. So, like, I feel like in similarities, because
Yes.
I've talked to a lot of dentists on this, like, the similarities are that, like, we at our core believe that prevention is best,
Mhm.
that like maintenance and prevention is best. But like, we're both up against a medical system that prevention is something that if it like really, it's like vaccines, like that, and they're free. And so
Mhm.
it's like, okay, fine. If I'm going to do prevention, like pharma knows, like, well, they're not going to pay for prevention. We have to give it for free. Otherwise, the only thing people are going to pay for is when there's an actual problem. And
Mhm.
so that's how society has been trained. And like, we come in being like, oh, well, that's not gonna work. Like, we're
Right.
gonna have to educate. We're gonna have to teach people. And that's the hard part, is when you're going, like, when you're in insurance, I don't know for you, but like on our end, there's money to be made with insurance when you're fixing broken people. Like, that's how insurance is set up, is to fix
Mhm.
broken people. But when you're like wanting to create this atmosphere of like health and vitality and
Vibe, yeah.
longevity and like, I mean, just like, and
Wellness.
then like realizing that this is more about cavities, this is about like how it connects with your body and like all
Yeah.
the things you can see, they're like,
Mhm.
what? And you have to show up differently. You really have to show up differently as your brand.
Yeah, totally. I What just dropped into my space, the chiropractor versus dental, though, too, is that I don't know, and you can jump in, but I feel like people um look to you as a healer. So I had seen on, maybe it was your Instagram, which if you are not following her on Instagram, like, that's a must. So freaking funny and so fun. But you had mentioned about our brick and mortar, like our storefronts, right? And like, if you're a
Mhm.
cupcake, if you are, one of those places where people want what you have, but like
Yes.
people are like, not so much. But I still feel like chiropractor because I love massage. I've always gotten deep tissue massage. I love and understand energy work. So I feel like it's like healing in a vibe where people are like dental, super afraid, and just do not want it. So they're just like, how
Yeah,
can
you
I avoid
obviously
it?
haven't been ridiculed incessantly,
Yeah.
being told that it's unsafe what you do and all of that. And it's like, yeah, no, there's a ton of like just misinformation on both. It's also just like, especially showing up online too, like being like, you're not a real doctor. And I'm like, I,
Yeah.
first of all, am not even trying to say I am. Like, what? Second of all, what do you consider real? Third of all, like, fuck off. I didn't ask for your opinion.
Girl, let's just jump right into that because we're both brand queens, like, in that realm
Mhm.
of freaking take the white coat off. Like, who's the woman behind the
Well,
white
you guys can
coat?
get blood on yourselves. So, like, I understand that.
Yes.
Like,
But I mean, like, authentically, the fear of not showing up as who they are, they lose touch,
Mhm.
like, their identity becomes their degree, and they forget who they are, or they're like, I can't show up online because it won't be quote, air quote, "professional."
Mm.
You know, I see that
Mhm.
time and time again, and as I mentioned before we hopped on, it's like pulling teeth sometimes, I said. When
Do you
I'm
just love
trying
saying that analogy? Do you say it, like, all the time? I
I
would, like,
think they
say
do
it, like,
kind of.
7 or 8 times a day just in a pun. Like
I really it's like it's so hard because I like you too. I mean, that is how I built my brand. That is how I brought in cosmetic cases. 'Cause I created, I believe
Mhm.
like you, a practice that was my home away from home. It was, velvet
So
couches,
authentically you.
chandeliers, just it was amazing. And people loved to come and visit. It had a cool name, Sugar Fix Dental Loft. Like people are like, is this an art gallery? Is this a candy store? Because I'd have, truffles out in the front. But people had found me online. I was completely me, who I am, authentically. And they would come in and be like, I want veneers. And I'd present a 50K treatment plan. They'd be like, okay, yes, when can I schedule? Because I was the same human in the
Mhm.
practice when they came in as they found online. Now, I don't know how long they were, behind that curtain online, but this is the point. Like, I'm trying to drive home for people. I'm like, if you're going to show up online as well, like, boring. Like, you need a personal brand and a practice brand, and it needs to bridge. But your practice brand, like, you got to show you're human.
Oh my gosh, and I'm so glad you differentiated. So, like, this is something that, like, so I started with just chiropractors, and I felt like after, gosh, 5 years of coaching just chiropractors, I was looking at scaling, so for anybody who doesn't know, like, the online world, like, your profit margins are like 80%,
Mhm.
like,
Way better.
brick and
Beyond.
mortar, you're like 20 to the 30, because
Yes.
payroll, and, like, you're in a situation where it's like the bit more patients you see, the more your payroll goes up.
Yes. Yep.
And so I was like, okay, I want to keep scaling this online thing. It's going well. It's fun. Not ready to let go of seeing patients quite yet, but I'm down to like 10 hours a week. Um, but I was like, okay, for the next leap, going to like 7+ figures, do I want to double down on working with chiropractors? Because there are models, there are like huge coaching business. I'm sure the same
Mhm.
things in dent, like there
Yep.
are,
Same.
companies that are killing it. And it's like, okay, I could do that. But I was like, oh, I just don't think I can keep talking about the same issues
Same.
that like wanted to keep coming up. And honestly, I bet you they're the exact same issues because
Yep.
neither of our professions were taught a damn thing
Correct. And school.
about running a business in school.
Mhm.
And so I was like, I don't know I don't think I can do that for the next 10 plus years. And so the alternative thing was like something that I had done really well, which was create a monetizable personal brand online with limited time by not like hating my day job, by like loving seeing patients. But
Yes.
again, the similarity here is like there is no virtual chiropractic. Like, there's
Right.
no
Right.
virtual dentistry. It's like, if I'm going to well, maybe there's some, I don't know. But, like, in general, to make the money, you have to be in this location
Yep.
at a
Tied.
certain time, and you're like, people are scheduling months out, and you're like,
Yeah.
August?" I mean, like, right now
I
it's
want a
September, I'm like,
vacation.
"Well,
Yeah.
August? Well, I don't know, I'll my friends" like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, I'll be here at 9 o'clock on Friday, I guess. I
Yeah.
don't have anything on my calendar yet, but, like, ugh."
Yes.
And so it just started to really feel this like lack of
Mhm.
freedom where it's like, well, it's not that I don't love seeing patients. I love seeing patients, but it's just like, oh, you want to make more money? Better get more new patients. Oh, you want to make more money? You're seeing more new patients. Got to get a bigger space. Oh, you got to hire another assistant. Okay. Oh, but now profit margins. Now you need more patients. Oh, now you need another space. And now you need
Yeah.
this. And I was like, I'm just kind of tired. I'm just kind of tired of that. Like, I love it. I love the
Yep.
clinic. I love being able to do that, but like it just was such the same over and over. And
Yeah.
so I was like in the last year, I was like, I want to help other healthcare professionals like that I know are dealing, dentists, vets, speech, OT, all they're still dealing with the same thing of like, there's not a lot of freedom with this. And so creating
Right.
that personal brand has become, and it's not really optional anymore in 2025. Like,
Yes, agreed.
yes,
Mhm.
you need your clinic brand. Like, and that's where I said, like, I'm
Yeah,
glad you said that because like you do
yeah.
need your clinic brand. You need a
Mhm.
place to be like, we're having a new patient special or
Yes.
like happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that we serve at this location.
Yeah.
Um, and we're closed. It's Memorial. Like you need a place for all
Yes.
that.
Right.
Fucking
Yeah.
stock images of flags. Don't do that anymore. Anyways, even in your clinic, please stop doing that.
No,
Yeah, you
yes.
need a place to be able to be funny, and there is no real call to action except like, "Do you hear me?" type of thing.
Right, and I always say too, I'm like, "Have your team take it over for the practice." They're already
Mhm.
freaking on Insta and freaking or TikTok, and they love it, so let them have it. But
Yeah.
again, doctors are like, "Ooh, I don't know. I don't know what they might say." It's like, "Let go, surrender, go and flow." It's gonna be the best content ever. Focus on you. But what you were saying too, yes, the kind of that loop and that, like, the stuckness factor that they're in. What I found too, and the reason why I kind of expanded out as well is just because what I have found is that so many live in scarcity and lack, like big time. And I'm like, wait, what? Okay, because I am used
That's
to
wild to me. I always look at dentists and I'm like, "Man, they got it easy."
no, no. It
'Cause
is
we're totally scarcity lack over here too. Like,
okay. But
we're in the Detville.
like, I never have lived that way, nor will I ever, because there is an understanding. First of all, I'm like, how about when you really want something and you desire something? This is the way I work anyway, or even in my practice, I'd be like, ooh, like that sounds like really fun or whatever. And then you'd manifest it because you'd just be all in the fields, you'd raise your vibration, and all of a sudden, a person would walk through the door and be
But
like, hey, can
not
you do
everybody is a manifesting generator.
yeah, right? Like,
But that also goes, not everybody should start their own practice.
no, yes, but what I just wanna say with that is if they're on the scarcity and lack zone of like, "Oh my gosh, it's never enough," and every single month we're, gosh, running on KPIs and we've gotta make, 100K to this month, and then all of a sudden they don't make it and the team fails and everyone fails instead of celebrating, well, wait, how much have we made? Not even this year, but since we opened the practice, how many
Mm.
multi-millions is that? Holy shit. You know, huge. Huge celebration, wins, happiness. Like I know this is what we both
Yeah.
probably like strive to
Yeah.
bring in to the practices. Um, which is
Do
like I
you
said,
think why do you think that is though? Like, why do you think that there is such like, is it because we're not taught it in school? Do you think that I mean, where does that come from?
I absolutely do feel like, and you mentioned this somewhere too, that they are thrown in. They are thrown in, first of all, okay, yes. They learn nothing. We learn nothing in school
Mhm.
about business, marketing, banking,
Yeah.
like anything. We have no idea whatsoever. So in dentistry, they come out, it's 100K a year for dental school right now. Mine was
Yeah.
65K. That was a long time ago. A year.
I just learned this.
Yeah.
Y'all are coming out like some people on my Instagram were like, "Oh, dentists are like $500,000 in debt." And I was like,
Just school,
"What?"
not including I have dentist clients of mine borrowing $1 million to then
Just
open,
like
start a practice, and the equipment, like a CERAC that I had completely digital practice like all of those years. So mind blown when I go into practices that still have charts, like what the F. But the equipment 160K for a CERAC machine, like to make restorations, like the little bond is like
yeah.
$160. Your assistant's like, I don't care. And you're like, it's liquid gold, like one drop. I only need one drop. So they are constantly in this space of just, being on the edge. So when it comes to marketing, I have a marketing agency, right? Like for dentists
Mhm.
specifically. And it's difficult. And I'm like, okay, you don't want to. I have a content club. It's like I've made content now for years, drop new content every month. They get it all. I create it. And it's really inexpensive because versus the done for you, I'm like, listen, don't pay thousands and have stock imagery and shit put up on your. I hope you're cool with like my mouth today. I
Oh,
feel it
yeah,
with
yeah,
you.
yeah.
It's flying.
Yeah, my editors told us, like, after, like, 200 and some episodes, they're like, "I think we
Oops.
need to switch to explicit." It was like a rating. I was like, "What? No!" And he's like, you swear just enough." And I was like, "Shit!"
There's something about you, it just pulls it out of me in all good fun. But anyway, so
Well, why aren't
yes.
dentists sharing spaces more? That just seems like the
Well,
obvious thing. Like, why aren't y'all sharing equipment?
here's the other thing in dentistry is what I have found. It's so hard. Like I want to change the world with it, and I'm only one human, and I've tried to like, lock arms with other humans, and it's like us against the world. Many the poor kids, the young dentists that are coming out are like, yeah, the low ticket even content club. They're like, I can't even afford that. It's like, oh, this is when I'm like, wait, you cannot not afford not
You
to.
cannot not
Okay.
afford.
Or to have a mentor in your
Mhm,
pocket, because I believe we are here, you, me, and
mhm,
others, to extend our hand to say, listen, versus the big corporate companies, we've gone before you. We've built 7+ figure brands
mhm,
successfully, having freaking fun. Like, we get it.
mhm.
Like, let us be your guide, because just being in our energy, you will be a different human, period. Don't think about anything else. We've got you. Like, I've had clients, I'm sure you have too, that literally have increased by 200K a year. And they're like, I didn't do anything different. Actually, I did less. And it's like,
Yeah.
yes, this is how magical it
But
gets to be.
okay, so I just had a similar conversation on this because how many years in practice? When did you graduate?
So I was 18 years in practice. So
Okay.
I went to dental hygiene school first, and then I moved from Boston to Chicago and
Okay.
opened a fee for service startup.
Okay. So I've been in practice 15 years. I've been coaching for like 9, I think. And I think there's this evolution though that starts to happen as you start to like from the time you graduate until the time you really it starts to click that you're the magic sauce. So
Mm.
like in the beginning, you do have this like scarcity of like, okay, I'm gonna you have a $500 program. Um,
Yes,
can
or not.
do you guarantee the results?
Do you
And
pay
we're
to
like
play?
out here 10 years in practice being like, if you can't make
Yeah,
$500 from this, there's something
right.
wrong with you, not
And
the
we don't
program. But it,
guarantee, because you have to do the work. Like,
right,
you have to show up and do the work and
yeah.
integrate it. Like,
Now, some people stay in that scarcity mindset. And
mhm.
like, I have a program on like helping clinic owners, look at their profitability, learn to delegate, learn to create KPIs, all that system stuff. And, you know, it's multiple thousands of dollars.
Mhm.
And it's one of those things where they're like, okay, what is the like ROI? And I'm like,
Yes.
well, because we talk about like real estate and investing, kind of hard to tell. It could be like
Yeah.
200% ROI if you really look at it. And they're like, "Ugh," and it's like, and now, but like there's this evolution that if you are willing to continue to invest in yourself, and not everybody is. There are people
Right.
who've been in practice 10 plus years that are still asking, what's the ROI on this program? And
Mhm.
it's like, they just don't realize that you are the person. Like, I could literally get I could go to a conference on crochet. I don't know how
Mhm.
to crochet. I don't really want to learn how to crochet. But if I found myself needing to get CEs somehow and I was
Yeah.
at a crochet conference,
Uh-huh.
I would be willing to bet $10,000 that I could walk out with a minimum of 3 ideas to implement Monday in my clinic to make it better.
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
I don't know what
absolutely.
they are right now, don't
Yep.
I? But like I guarantee it. And
Yep.
so if you are looking, if you can switch your mind to start realizing that there is innovation and inspiration everywhere, and that you taking it and putting through your genius into the thing you've built, that's where the magic is. And so then I'm sure like as you continue to scale, I just signed up for a $30,000 mastermind yesterday, like
Yep.
with Jasmine Star. Like, actually, I think it's like closer to 35,000.
Yeah,
And
I'm in
it's
one
just,
too, and I paid in full, like, boom, it
yes,
expanded me to, like, hit the, like, go, the
yeah,
gift to me, and I am so expanded, even if I'm sitting and I don't say anything, by that group, by those women.
yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
So,
and it's
I
like
get that.
but that's the scary thing is as you start to scale and so many people say that they want that. Like, "Oh, I want to
Mhm.
go to multi seven figures." And it's
Uh-huh.
like, okay, it's scary. Like, do you have a director of ops that you're paying 6 figures? Do you have like have you hired a VA yet? Do you have this? Have you outsourced this? Have you like delegated that? Have you like are you investing in because there's just certain levels where the amount of information costs more. And so,
Yeah.
like, yeah, when you're a startup, you can probably get coaching for $10,000 a year, and it's like
Mm.
one-on-one calls and
Yeah.
like, and that's what startups
Mhm.
want and need. But like at a certain point where you're like, "Oh no, like you
Yeah.
don't get one-on-one calls for $35,000 a year." Like,
Right.
and that's not even a full year, that's 6 months, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, "Oh, no, 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 no." Like you're in the room. And it's just like, but you get it. Like it starts to click that like, but that's all right. I'll do magic with that. I will.
Yeah, but that's it though, is like the getting it. So what I have found and what I have done in my entire career is one, I always put myself in the rooms and I've always done personal growth and development, like Tony Robbins Business Master, what have you, next to my
Mhm.
CE that was dental, right? Always
Which
open.
of course
Yeah,
CE would never pay for that. Like, no,
right.
no, no. No, you
Right.
can't have growth and personal development as
Yeah.
continuing education.
CE wouldn't even do marketing when I tried to get
Oh,
CE to try to
like,
get
what
dentists.
the
It's
heck?
crazy. It's all, like I said, old freaking system that
Mm,
hopefully will eventually break down. But when you were saying about the imagination, which I feel like is so important, is the other gift I gave to myself every single year when in the overwhelm, when I was a brand new practice owner, it was beautiful and perfect, but I was still like in overwhelm of like all the things. And I gave myself the gift of going away by myself for weekends. So like I started going to Fort Lauderdale by myself. Fast forward, you know how they say, like,
Do you have
that
kids?
picture, huh?
Do you have
I
did you
do.
have
I have
kids at the time?
three. Oh, I had babies back to freaking
Yeah.
back. I mean,
That was
and then went
genius.
right
That
back to
was
work.
genius of you.
No time off, like right back to work,
Mhm,
like had a miscarriage while I was extracting a tooth one time, like insanity, hustle
mhm.
culture, which I thrived on. I thrived on it. But now I look back and I'm like, whoa, I had a nanny, full time live in nanny whom I loved and everything anyway. So that's what allowed me to take that time. But you've seen the graph, you go up and it's like every 6 to 8 weeks, all of a sudden, like you burn out, right? You burn out and you kind of crash, and then otherwise you're whatever. So every 8 weeks, I go away for myself. And I'm telling you,
Is that
the
what it is? 6 to 8 weeks? I've never
it's
seen the graph.
oh, you haven't? I'll have to send it to
No.
you on Instagram. Oh, yes. It's out there. So it's like you're going up,
This is why I
you're
freak out if I
thriving.
look at my Delta app and my next plane, right, or my next vacation is more than 8 weeks away.
See, it's
This
around
is why.
8. Yes, and you
Mhm.
you completely you stay high 5 and the idea is you create space. First of all, the first day, you're literally just coming down from, like, dropping
Mhm.
in, right? Dropping out of your head into your heart, like, dropping, go for walks, be on the beach, whatever feeds your soul. For me, it's ocean and sand and whatever. Maybe it's mountains
'Cause
for
we're the same person.
you.
Yes.
Okay, the same human. But my businesses have been born on that beach in Fort Lauderdale. Literally
Mhm.
born. My best ideas have come to me in that space, in that sanctuary I have created for myself. Just eating, being, it's beautiful. And I recommend that for everybody because if you're in practice and you're nonstop rock and you're in, like we're saying, that low vibration, the scarcity and lack and the loop, and you're like, oh my gosh, you are freaking in burnout land. Like you can't even think creatively about the next thing, even to market. Like Mother's
Right.
Day, like you said earlier, well, what do you want to do for that? Like you cannot even think
I kind of flip and care.
about it.
Okay, hold up though. You are answering a question that I've had for a really long time, and it's genius. So when we talked about the evolution of like, yes, eventually some people get to the point where they're like, it's 50,000. Do you take American Express?
Yes, love.
But one of the questions I've always asked is like, does it have to be an evolution? Is there any way that a new startup has the unless they're like born, like some people are just born with like self-confidence and they're like, I'm amazing. And but like, is there any way to start it? And like, I think it's the weekend away because it doesn't have to be expensive. But the
No.
thing that is
Mm-mm.
necessary to grow is the understanding
Mhm.
that you can create out of nothing. Out of nothing.
Yes.
Like I literally said, I can go to a crochet conference and I can
Yes.
get, and so like,
Your
but in the
imagination.
beginning, if somebody's like, well, I'm just too scared to invest in that $10,000 mastermind weekend. I'm too scared for that. And it's like, yeah, I do get that. How do they grow it? How do they get to that point? It can start with a weekend by yourself out of your element. I don't think you should do it at home. Otherwise, you're going to end up
No,
like
you
doing
can't.
laundry and like
No,
futzing around your house.
doesn't
You need
work.
to be removed from your natural environment
Yes.
and you need to be alone. and you
Yeah.
will come back from those weekends. And the thing is you can do that cheap. You can do that for 500 bucks. And I think if you'd started doing that your first year of practice, whether or not you had kids, and that's the other part is like
Yeah.
us women out here, we're like growing,
Yes.
birthing businesses and birthing babies the same
Yes.
year.
Yes.
That
It's
is
all about
how,
outsourcing though too. I
yeah.
mean, I'll get help where I need it because I will fill my cup first because I'm no good for anyone else if I am not
Where are
completely.
you from though? Where do you live?
I'm from Boston. My practice is
Yeah.
in
See, this is
Chicago.
an East Coast thing that most of America can't resonate with. I'm from the Midwest.
Now I'm in
And like,
Charleston, but I was in
yep.
Chicago forever. Chicago's when I went to Florida all the time. And you know
Yeah.
what's so crazy is that I get this. I was in Boston for all those years, lived in Beacon Hill. Like, I don't know if you've ever been there, but like the cobblestone
Yeah.
streets, like loved
Yeah.
it. Okay. North End Beacon Hill. And then we went to Chicago and I thought I was in my dream house on the water. I've always wanted a beach house. Like we were on the lake. The lake looked like the ocean. Sometimes it looked like the Caribbean,
Oh,
but
it's gorgeous.
it's
Yes. Lake
gorgeous,
Michigan,
right?
gorgeous. It's great.
But I felt in my body, I was like, I don't know that this is it, but it was a dream house. That's a whole nother story how that was manifested. But anyway, fast forward, I end up in Charleston. Like I end up selling, I had 3 brick and mortar spaces, quarantine dream, ended up selling. But where I landed from that dream is is like right now I am downtown Charleston by the beach, palm trees, and cobblestone streets. Like I merged, I crisscrossed. So now I feel like I am in my pinch me and my dreaming life every freaking day. I have stepped into this vision of creation that I was literally manifesting the entire time with me going away, sitting on the beach, looking at the palms, being like, oh my gosh, like I love this life and
Mhm.
this creation and all of that. Like I was literally planting seeds for it. And then the universe was like, okay, yep, and here you go. It's now time. Boop. Here you
Okay,
are.
so you're like a master manifester, which even though we're both Manny Jennies, I
Mhm.
feel like I have another friend like this that's just like manifests everything. And I'm like, so what do you think you okay, so we talked about like startups. Okay, start with
Mhm.
weekends by yourself. How
Yes.
else can you grow that belief in yourself that you are capable? Like, how do you like wake people up and be like, you are living a life by default? You're
Yes.
unhappy, you have
Yes.
the power to change it. Like,
Yes.
how do you get people the next
Yes.
step?
And yes, the old programming. Oh my gosh, it's all old programming, right? And so in order to create a shift, to write new codes, right? You've got to do something that feels freaking scary as shit. So sorry
Yep, and
again.
that's where most people are like, "Oh, never mind, that's not the advice I wanted to hear. I
Right.
I wanted a guarantee ROI."
I know. Well, people say to me like, "Wait, you eat by yourself?" Okay, let's start there. Like, absolutely. I get like a glass of wine, I'm looking at the beach, I get some sushi, and I am just literally in my body freaking like loving life, right? This raises like again our vibration, our energy levels, like all of that, which is the allowance to open up again, the drop into the heart and open up to what is truly in us. Our soul knows,
Mhm.
like, there's so much in everybody. Like, we all have such unique gifts. And that's the thing is that so many are just like, wait, no, my degree, like, they're blocking and closing themselves off. And it's like when you go away,
Mhm.
you open the door to this other realm and it's like of possibilities, like infinite possibilities. So just trust yourself. And it is, maybe it will be uncomfortable, but guess what? That's where we get the most growth and expansion. So,
Right. But the problem is so I was just God, it was a Blinkist. Do you have Blinkist?
uh-uh.
So it's so, like it's like, books in 18 minutes. It's an
Oh,
app.
yes, I've heard of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. So, I think it was
I
like
need
the
that.
great oh, it's wonderful. But it ends up me being like, I don't really remember the name of the book because I was only in so I think it was like The Great Leap or something by like Gary
Read it.
Hendrickson, and he was
Yep.
talking yeah. So, maybe you'll remember, but like there's this principle that in human psychology that we believe like innately we believe there's only a certain amount of happiness. It's like a barometer that we believe on the other side of this and everybody's is different,
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
we actually believe on the other side it will start to work against us, right? Like it will start, like nobody deserves to be that level of happy. It's actually not okay for you to have that much abundance and that much. And so subconsciously, we believe that once we get to a certain point, and for everybody's different, like, oh, you already own 2 homes, settle down. Because if you like 3, something bad's gonna happen. It's gonna burn down. We don't deserve this. Like the world is gonna start to take away from you.
Yes, but this is the education that nobody has had, that they're just freaking projections. Like the old coding
Mhm.
programming you were running on is from your past parents. Like you get to decide. It's a decision to do things differently. That's how you're going to break the cycles and create new generational wealth for yourself, for your family. Whatever you desire is possible.
Yeah,
I
but people go like, "Okay, but we all can't do that." Like, good for you. But
Oh,
like, again, it's that principle that there's only so much money and or happiness to go around. So it's like, well, yeah, that worked for you, but some of us have to like what, live a shit. And it's like, no.
okay. But here's the other thing, because I get that all the time, like, "Oh, you're just a unicorn," or,
Yeah.
"Oh, da, da, da," projections. I just say ricochet, okay? You're a 512. It's a ricochet. Like, you know what? We said before too, you can only bring a horse to water. Our hearts are so ginormous. We're here to help the freaking world. If you're ready to rise, come with us. If you're not yet, that's okay too. You're on your own timeline. That's a
Mhm.
choice. We're not here to, should I say pull teeth again? We're not here to like pull them with, right? That's not it. I trust in your power. We're here to be mirrors. I will mirror their power back to them. If they don't see it, that's okay. They have to decide. So we can't, we are all in charge of our own destinies, and there is unlimited
Mhm.
like possibilities and potential and power in us as human beings to literally, we were talking about manifesting, manifest anything you desire. It's already, anything you can think of is already created, because the imagination does not know the difference from what's real from what's not. It's created and dropped. It's just whether or not you cannot be attached to it. You let go, drop it, and before you know it, like I said, and then stay high vibe as you can by lighting yourself up. You know how you do
Going
that?
away every 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, and the best thing ever that I'm obsessed with in you too is freaking put yourself at the table. Masterminds where you go deep, not freaking egotistical, superficial conversations about like numbers and shit. Like, let's talk about the real stuff, the stuff we feel, so we can actually alchemize those feelings into something else and move through them, right? Like,
Right.
it gets to be so good. So good.
I know, but so it's funny because so this membership I have, like helping healthcare providers start a personal brand. There's all these hurdles that I anticipated we were going to be working through, but one of the ones that I wasn't prepared for is how many people think like it's already being done, so they can't like they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I know, but I follow some dentists, like, I follow
Yep.
Dr. Jessica, and she's already doing that." And I'm like, "Do you know how big the world is? And first of all, you
Yes.
just need to find your people." Like, I don't know how many dentists there are, but, like, literally, I signed my first five-figure brand deal with less than 1,500 followers.
Mhm.
Like, you don't need
No.
50,000 followers to monetize and have a big impact. Like
Yes.
you really, really don't. But they're just like, oh, but I follow this account and she's already doing like kind of what I want to do. And I'm like, okay, well, do not copy. That's not what I'm saying. But like
Model. Model.
model, if that's a seed that's in your heart, you can
Yes.
you can also. Do you know who Amy
Yes.
Porterfield is?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah. So Amy Porterfield like talks about how one of the red flags she'll see when helping people find their niche online is if
Mhm.
they can't find somebody who's doing it and monetizing it, that's a red flag. It's
Yeah.
not like, "Oh, wow, I had this solo idea. I'm the only person. I did it. I figured this out." It's like, no, that's actually probably more likely that people tried it, it didn't work, it didn't resonate. And so, like, one of the best green lights she recommends is if you see people who are doing this successfully, green light, keep going. But our stupid monkey brain is like, no, they had the idea before me. Shoot. Like,
How many, like, look around and how many chairs are there? Okay, everything around us right now was once in someone's imagination, right? And then it was created, and everything is energy. Like I said, there is, first of all, gosh, I could go off on this. We all have a unique frequency that is felt. Everyone had just like a fingerprint. So if you are showing up authentically, truly as you, your people will find you. You're not for
mhm,
everybody. That's okay. But you're also not supposed to not step forward because actually you're pinching yourself off from what's available and then you're going to feel awful in your body. Just FYI, like open up, be you, like unauthentically, and your people will find you because we are here to create ripples in the universe and impact with other human beings, everybody for somebody. So you can't compare yourself. And if you find yourself comparing yourself and going down that rabbit hole, unfollow those people if it's not good
mhm,
for yourself or your soul, right? You should be inspired. There should be a handful of people that you are inspired. You're like, oh my God, I love that. Yes, yes, yes. And then what they're doing drops a unique idea in for you that then you execute on. But everyone
mhm.
is kind of doing the same things, just their own unique ways. If you think about it, nothing is
Yeah.
truly
No, no,
you.
no, there are no like this is why like I love branching out besides chiropractors because I
Yes.
was like, "Oh, y'all are
Same.
dealing with the same shit we are." Like I talked to an ENT in the podcast and I was like, "Oh, y'all are dealing with the same shit." I talked to a vet on the podcast and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's all the same business things." Like you talk to a car owner, dealer owner, and it's like
Yeah.
they're dealing with the same thing, different,
Yes.
different principles. Okay, you mentioned something that I want to cycle back to. You brought up you were in hustle culture in the beginning.
Yep.
Now, I I have because I am an elder millennial.
I
And
am way older.
right. Are you millennial or are you I don't
I'm
know
in
when
my
millennials
50s.
start. You're
I
in your
don't
50s.
even
Oh
know
my
the
god,
math.
girl.
Yes, I know. When did that happen?
So
I
I
have a
think
20-year-old
are
soul.
you Gen X?
I think so.
I
Yeah.
think so. It's okay. It's okay.
I don't do
So
math.
we won't do math. It's fine.
Okay.
So I see 20 somethings graduating. And so the thing that I think about each generation is they look to the previous one and see our flaws, which and then go like, well, I'm not doing that. And I think that's great. So one of the things that I am curious on your take on is I see Gen Z
Mhm.
graduating and they're looking at us and being like, you hustled during some of the most important years of your life. You had somebody else raising your child, you this or that. And they're starting practices out of the gate wanting balance.
Uh-huh. Especially today.
Uh-huh. Yep, yep, yep. And I don't know how I feel about it because I don't know if starting a business is
Mhm.
the right move if you're looking for balance in the next 3 plus years. Like I don't know. Do you agree?
As a new practice owner, okay, so I feel like versus where we were, okay, it was a different time. And I do
Mhm,
feel like we've shifted more. I didn't understand about feminine energetics back then. Oh
mhm.
no. Oh no, no, no. But now that I understand it and like the balance between the masculine feminine dance, which many of you, if your doctors may not understand it yet either,
Oh
which is
yeah.
why there's so much stuff and you put yourself at tables with other people and you expand
Well,
your
starting a practice is masculine. Like, so
it is.
masculine energy is timelines, KPIs, like, and it's
Yes.
wonderful for building a business. But I'm not talking about balance
Yes.
between masculine and feminine because I
Yes.
do believe you can start a practice making sure self-wise you are focused on masculine, feminine. I'm talking about work-life balance.
Yes, the work life. But here's the thing. In the beginning, vision, vision, vision. I had a very strong vision for what I desired. I was
Mhm.
told by not only the bank, but other people, the bank made me lock in with a big kind of corporate. quote unquote consulting company that I had to take a loan for 30K or 35K back then for, that I, by the way, was able to fire within or let go of within, I think it was like 6 weeks, because I was doing my own marketing my way and it was working.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh, you'll never make it. And I was like, you know, you guys, if I need to be on the street corner holding up a sign, need dental, it's working because I see it, I know it, I feel it in my body, like we're going. And so to me, where they go wrong is they skimp and like they open a practice,
Mm.
immediately are in complete fear, which is the wrong way to go, and then signing on, at least in the dental world, every single insurance under the
Oh, yeah.
sun
Oh,
that
yeah.
pays
I mean,
pennies.
that was I did that for 5 years. Literally, if a patient called me and I was answering my phone, and they were like, "Do you take this insurance?" I'm like, "Not yet, but give me
Right.
4 to 6 weeks."
It's just so for me, what I have found, especially through mentoring, as well as that I help so many dentists like now get off of them. And it is so hard. You know, dentists will be like, oh my God, I'm gonna drop this one this year. And then maybe next year I could drop another.
Just
I'm like,
rip the
oh
damn
my
Band-Aid
God.
off. Just
Right.
rip it off.
But for me, I'm like, don't even start that way.
No.
It's a
Yeah, don't
decision.
even start.
And if you want a life balance, like out of the gate, did I work hustle? And but the thing is, like, I loved it, but I loved it because I was building it my way. The minute you hand over your
Mm.
power to insurance companies and you start working for that, and you're in that life of working 24/7 and not being able to be home, or not even be able to have time with your patients because you have patients in 3 rooms doing, you don't even have time for the exams and whatnot. Like, young dentists are burning out. And I don't know, chiropractors,
Yep,
but
ditto.
they're
Ditto,
burning
ditto.
out quick, and they're looking, I think the side gigs Facebook groups are like the biggest groups out there. But then what hurts me is that they are looking for job. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I need to leave. I'm so burnt out. My body hurts." And then they're like, "But I think the only thing I can do is go work for an insurance company." I'm like, "Oh my God, it's like selling your soul." Like, no. Again, they're not using, they're so in their head, like they're not using their imagination and saying, you know, I can, I will. Let me, drop into the possibilities or find someone out there that might be doing, that's walked in my shoes, that has done everything other things, just to talk to explore what is all possible. Because and I know, because we built several streams of income. There are
Mhm.
passive and not. There are so many things.
Most of them are not passive. Yes.
Correct.
That's one of my biggest soapboxes is like, let's talk about passive versus side. Okay, hold up though. So I
Yeah.
want to clarify what you're saying. So are you saying that hustle culture is not bad if you are
Yes.
doing it to build
Oh, yeah.
your thing? Okay. And I
You
think
love
that
it.
that's what people like. So like hustle culture got thrown out like baby with the bathwater of like,
True.
ew, you're doing it wrong if you are hustling. And it's like, no, let's do a nuance on this. You're not doing it wrong if you're hustling for your own dream and vision. If you're
Yes.
just like copy pasting somebody else's and you're hustling for that, then maybe. But you
Correct.
do need to hustle. I do believe you need to hustle in the beginning. Like
You
you
do, with your loans and your debt and all of that.
you, you
But
got to get like a bit like patients don't just manifest out of nowhere. Like you manifest them through your authentic self being put out there. Like you have to raise the baby. You have to do
but
it.
there's so much to unpack here though too, because again, like back to that like investment point and part in the beginning, is it's like, if you step into, they're scared, not only for the finances, they're also like, oh my gosh, I don't really have the skills and I don't really know. And oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. And it's like the patients that do come in, you want to close, and people
Mhm.
feel energy. So when someone comes in, it's like they can feel if you're wobbly. And they'll be like,
Mhm.
yeah, let me schedule later. And then you're in more of a panic. And then that more of the panic is felt by the next person. So it's like, this is why mentorship, I feel like, is so critical today. Yes, you have to work for it, but yes, you can love it. And it helps to have someone in your pocket, a guide, somebody to walk shoulder to shoulder with you through all of this, to have someone in your pocket to be like, hey, I'm going through this thing. I feel this way. Great. Like, let's move it instead of sitting with it and packing it, compounding it and pushing it down. because you can have it all and you can do the things. Like I said, if you do decide you want to work for yourself, I would say, yeah, plan on working hard and step into it, but step into it your way. Because if you don't work for yourself, I know I'm an entrepreneur. I could never work for someone else. Like,
Oh, I would have been a terrible, terrible employee.
yeah, same. I mean, this is also something I feel like people should look at. You were saying Enneagram, I say human design, whatever you look at. I love human design because it is energy. And some people like you and me, we can go all day. Like here, I'm looking at the time, like, yeah, we should wrap up. We could go all day. You and I have more energy. We're like Energizer bunnies, Manny Gens. Some people that are projectors, for example, they can't. They can plug in and other people absorb people's energy and it can wear you out. So I think understanding yourself as
Mhm.
the human and what you can do and not do, and then create a schedule that fits that. It's like make the schedule fit you. Don't try to fit into a schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. But like, so do you think that some man or some like human designs are just gonna burn out faster?
Oh,
Like,
definitely. Definitely. I have clients that I know their human design and I know how they work. Yes. Yeah. It's their energy. They just don't have the same energy types. And so
what I
it's
like about human design way more than Enneagram is I see so Enneagram, you take a quiz. Okay.
right. Yeah.
Now,
I've done that.
most people are mistyped because it matters how you answer the questions.
Mhm.
And if you have just, I mean, for you to get through 8 years of post high school schooling and
Yeah.
like have your eye locked in, so many people come out of school and especially if they're starting their own practice, they're going to get mistyped because they're answering questions through this lens of being an achiever
Lens.
and like an entrepreneur when
Mhm.
like innately they're not. And so I love human design because you can't cheat it. Well, if you put the wrong
No.
time of your birth in,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
like ultimately is like this is who you are.
Yeah.
And some people are like, oh, I think I used to be this as an Enneagram, but now I'm this. And I'm like, no, you've always been that. You just the lens in which you went through. And so, like, right as people are grad, I get a lot of people an Enneagram 3, I think is the closest thing to either a manifestor or a manifesting generator. And so many people are like, oh, I'm a 3. And I'm like, are you?
Mhm.
Are you? Or did you just go through the 8 hardest years of your life in schooling and you were forced to be very like next task oriented and things like that? And so that's where it's
Yeah.
like, even talking to you, like where you said like, oh, didn't like want to coach. And I was like, oh, I was like, where's the stage? This is like, that's a 3 thing. Like Enneagrams
Yeah.
3s are like, oh yes, I'm the performer. I am the like a lot of times you get calls like a celebrity is it because we're like, where's the limelight? I will take this. So yeah, I think they're both important, but I like human design better for like
Yeah.
really figuring out like should you start practice right away? Like
Right.
maybe you should go work under someone because there's a good chance you're going to burn out so much faster.
I think if you have tools to put in your toolbox, like why wouldn't you take advantage of them? You know what? Like try things on, you throw out what you don't want. But
Yeah.
if you can learn about yourself, and I have found, like I said, human design takes so many different, right? Astrology, like science, science. Because the minute you don't say science, people are like, oh, that's woo woo, whatever jargon. It's like, oh my
There's
gosh.
quantum physics in there.
Yeah, there's everything in there, but it's wild. And once I send them like a video, that says like 5-1 manage, whatever they are, they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's so me. And then they dive in and they're like, that's why, and it's helpful, I think, to feel
Mhm.
like, okay, this is why I feel like this. If they're not going to, for example, connect with someone like a mentor, like Lock Arms with a mentor, well,
Right.
then it's you and your ego. Or, like I said, you can go down. My best advice would be like tap into the personal development, energetics, like learn the things that they aren't teaching because it will be so much better for you. Like here's the thing about money is that money is energy and it meets you where you are. Like I said, if you're in scarcity and lack or
Mhm.
you're pinching it off, you'll never have enough. You'll never have enough. But if you are, like I said, just available and you understand how it really, really works, well, then it just flows.
Yep.
I mean, I've built an 8-figure company, a 7-figure online company, multi 6 figures, YouTube, like, hello, hello. It's available to everybody.
It'd be
And guess
nailed.
what? Like, I've had freaking fun. Has it been hard? Oh my gosh, at
Oh,
times, like,
yep, and
billion
that's why I
percent.
wanted to circle back to the hustle
A
thing.
roller
That's why I
coaster.
wanted to, like, differentiate between, like, this isn't
Yeah.
passive. Don't call creating a personal brand online passive. We're hustling our ass off, but it's because we had a vision of, like, I don't think I want to work inside the 4 walls of this clinic, even though I love seeing
Yeah.
patients. We always have to
Yep.
caveat that. I don't wanna do that until retirement. I don't wanna do that old model. There's a different way,
Yes.
and I'm gonna go do it.
Yeah. And the passive though, but there is the passive, which I do speak to
Real
because
estate, yeah. Do you talk
when
about
when
real
I
estate and all sorts of things like that?
well, yes, but also there is, the online courses programs like you teach, I teach.
Mhm,
Is I wake up literally with cha-chings on my phone, or I'll be on the
mhm.
beach, like I'm down and it's just like cha-ching, cha-ching. Like I something I already created that's evergreen that still sells, or my membership, you know?
Right, but
But
you've got
it's not.
funnels, you
Yeah.
had to
Oh,
build
it's
it,
work.
it's
Yes.
connected to a brand that when people
Yes.
go and
You
I
have to show
think,
up for.
like
Mhm.
yeah, so it's like
It's
even the
work.
course that, like, you wake up to,
Yep.
you
I
had to,
work
like yeah.
on the front end. For brand, I guess best words of wisdom, and like as we even wrap, and you can speak to this too, but like I really, truly, fully believe that we're here to become, to reconnect ourselves and become and expand into the best version of ourselves and to love other humans and help them like with our knowledge. And like it's all brand. It's
Mhm.
all like we are a walking brand. We are a brand.
Yep.
What's coming into your space, knowing that you can pivot, knowing that everything is allowed. Just stay open, intuition to following that impulse, listening to your heart, creating space where you can hear your soul speak and trust it to move. And you don't, I'm not saying either leave your clinic, your practice, like no, that would be scary as anything, right? Like I built one of my businesses next door to hired outsourced team while I was still seeing patients too. Like
Mhm.
you just try things on, see what lights you up, because when something lights you up, you have no idea what it will become. Because you had mentioned like a brand deal. I have them too. I'm on some dental boards and I really love that. I get to talk about marketing and branding for products. And now I'm going to be on a lab board because they want my cosmetic eye on cases. Like, how fun does this get to be? I'm just open. I'm like, yes, thank
I
you,
just
next.
have a great
Grateful.
time over here.
Yes. Like the yes
Love it.
frequency. Yes, thank you. Yes.
Alright,
Gratitude.
well, I think I need to come down to Charleston.
Oh my
We
gosh.
need, like, a co-branded retreat.
Girl, I was just thinking before you said that
Yes.
the 5-1 management energy in us, I am thinking like healthcare professional retreat. I host retreats. I love retreats. I love bringing women together. The last one here was Boss Bombshells. I do brand retreats too. Like, yes, let's keep this conversation going. Sorry, I've lost my light. There are thunderstorms outside. I don't know if y'all heard the thunder. The lightning was like coming in, and it's been a wild, the energy is just pouring in over here. It's been so much freaking fun talking to you
This
about
was great.
all the things. Like I said, I think we need a take two and a continuation. We'll have to come back at some point. If you had, so just to kind of close us out for now, um, what would you say to your younger self if you were to look back now?
Oh god. My younger self would not have taken advice. Like, the ego was so big that, like, I don't know, there was that trend going around on Instagram for a while of, like, "I met myself for coffee,"
Yes.
and I was like, my 24-year-old ass was so confident in the
Yeah.
vision that I was making,
Uh-huh.
but my human design has to bump up against, like, I have to do it my way and
Yes.
learn and experience. And so the only thing I would say to my younger self is like, you got this. I'm so proud of you. And this, like, I don't know where this energy came from, but like, girl, ride it and just like be open to change and learn. And yeah, that I know.
Trusting. You
What about
trusted.
you?
You
What would you
trusted.
have said to your younger self?
I my younger self, I would probably be like, I would probably say, "Girl, you've got this." But
Yeah.
I always do believe in my heart if
And
I
your younger self would have been like, I know.
yeah, exactly. No,
Thanks, old
totally.
lady. I know.
Because back to the manifestation piece, like this started a long time ago. Like when I even got out of dental school, there was like a Mercedes I wanted. And I was like, yeah, like I said, I was like, I need, like I felt it in my body. I'm like, I need to have that. You know why? Because the parking spot was right out in the front of the building. And like when patients come in, I can't be driving a beat up. They're going to be think my dentistry is whatever. So again, I was already like elevating to that level of, of the next and the next and the next. I did get that Mercedes. I don't know how. I
There
look
you
back
go.
and I'm like, how
That's
do these
sweet.
things happen? But they do.
Wow.
Everything works out for you. So,
Well,
where
it
can
was
people
great
find
meeting
you?
you.
This is amazing.
Okay,
I know.
so for me, we got the podcast, She Slays the Day podcast, and then Instagram at She Slays underscore the day.
Freaking love it. She slays so good. I want to thank you so much for being here with me
This
today.
is fun.
So
I love
fun.
it.
And can I just say to everybody, that this is also why Instagram is so fun because I have met the most amazing freaking women through this platform. I also sold my dental practice in a DM on Instagram. PSS, everyone,
Shut up.
that's for another day, another story. But yeah, it's wild. Instagram is the place to play. Your
Mhm.
brand is, what to build. Like I said, and Lauren and I will have to, Dr. Lauren and I will have to pick this up again at some point.
Sounds good. You
Thank you
got
so
it.
much for being here today with me.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.